Yeah, it is. No, anyway, let me get to the question. 3 points. One is this, what you talked of the students that have to get some 1 year of research. I think it's very important because what you talked of in Breaking India, I see it replicated in our so-called elitist institutions in India. I've done my PhD. I'm not, luckily, fortunately, affiliated to any association or political party, so that allows me to say what I want without vested interests. But Tata Institute, where I've done my PhD from, it's not even breaking India, it's breaking my family basically. My son did his masters there, and I got my PhD degree at the same convention. And recently I just told him that, my paper has been published in the Indian Journal of Mental Health. Oh, he said, congratulations, what is it about the undivided Hindu Rashtra? For him, I'm RSS, okay? So my family gets divided by this whole divide and rule policy, and my work is with children. This divide and rule policy, I work only with children. But I get to hear of the Dalit child, the Christian child, the Muslim child, and believe me, I used to work for 23 years with mentally challenged children, and moved on to the so-called normal children, because one agitation is the problems that I'm facing. What I faced with my mentally challenged children, I face in India Shining Kids today, which is like 10-12% of India's population. 85% is aspirational India, which wants to be this great American family of the 50s model, what Gautam Bhatia calls from Sarla Devi to Mrs. Kapoor of Noida. Half carbon footprint to 16.5 carbon footprint. That is the agenda of all governing agency. And I think you should be worried, because children are the future of every society, and nobody is talking of the Indian child. They form 40 to 45% of our population, and this child today is completely colonized. Response to Mr. Dayal's safety nets, we used to have families and communities as safety nets. America has dismantled its families and communities. We were collectivistic societies, Aparigriha and Nirham Bhavana. Today, it's all about pleasure gratification and individual attainment. So I used to teach 20 years, for 20 years, and before I'd ask students, what is it that you want to become 20 years later? And they'd say, I want to be a doctor, I want to save this one, I want to work with so-and-so, I want to do this for people. Today when I ask them, they say, I want a 3-bedroom house in Malabar Hill, a car, aspiration goals. So celebrities are great. I mean, Obama talks about SRK and obesity, and this young girl on NDTV tells me, it's so interesting, I want to work, I'm a cosmetologist or I'm a diabetic person. The poor don't have diabetes. These are lifestyle disorders. I work with corporates and they're dying at 40 years.
Excuse
My father
me,
is 85 years old. Hold on.
Diabetes is not a lifestyle, it's a life-threatening disorder.
Can I have my say, please?
No, let me just
Can I
correct
have
you.
my say? In Tata Institute, for 20 years, I was not given the mic. I was not invited for a conference. There is an academic mafia there. Rajiv Malhotra's books, Arun Shouris, Madhu Kishor's books are not there. No, I'm not allowed to talk. That's not fair.
We're allowing you to talk.
We're not. So my point here becomes, safety nets should not come from the state. You don't outsource your families to the service industry that parents in Mumbai, my PhD is on 1100 mothers across families. It's an important study, across religion, across socio-economic status. My focus is on the child and the mother because she's the primary caregiver. And it's not rape, it's not domestic violence, it's not unequal ages or whatever, because India, when we got independence, we didn't ask if the woman had to vote or whatever. It was understood. The Dalit voted, everybody voted. America, after some, they were debating when we had a woman chief minister, whether 2/3 whether, women should vote, and it was negated. My point is, the woman's biggest problem in my research, 97.3% complained of fatigue. The primary caregiver of society, not just families, children of society, is complaining of fatigue. That you should be worried about. And secondly, the child, all this rape and abuse and schools being highlighted, What parents are doing to children today is I call child labor and child abuse. They're sending them for 20 tuitions, 20 classes, outsourcing them to servants, drivers. You know, this is abuse. 0 to 6, a child should not even be going into formal schooling.
But may I request
So
you
this,
to
I
come
think,
back to the
so the NGOs perpetuate, you know, because how you raise your children is deemed by the economic policy that you adopt. So if you want to create smart cities, you know, the problem becomes that it is dependent on this kind of thing. That where is the real problem? I'm saying NGOs should take up real issues. AIDS is not the problem. Diarrhea is not the problem. It is this whole decline in emotional intelligence and inquiry. Take up these issues. Parent training, parent support. These are not the problems. Dowry deaths are not problems. Feticides are not. They are. But you take care of your larger thinking mindsets, everything will get taken care of.
Okay, thank you. Good point, really. Yeah.